Welcome to Sphere Finance. I am Pricetime and you're watching Sphere TV. In this video, I'm going to show you how much the Sphere Finance Treasury is making on a daily and monthly basis for its investors with full transparency. But first, if you haven't already, subscribe. It helps support the channel, and by ringing the bell, you will automatically be notified when we create new content. Transparency and accountability are the foundations of value within decentralized cryptocurrencies, and Sphere Finance is exceeding industry standards with the integration of our Treasury dashboard, courtesy of the team at Multifarm. To access the Treasury dashboard, first use the official link to Sphere's homepage in the description below. Then, on the upper right, click on Enter App. You will be taken directly to the dashboard. At first glance, you can see your portfolio holdings with links to purchase Sphere and view the charts, as well as Sphere's current market cap, circulating supply, total wallets holding Sphere, and the always increasing total tokens burned to date. Simply scroll down past the news and updates to see the Treasury dashboard with a breakdown of our protocol's performance. Right away, you can see Sphere's portfolio allocations and current investments. First, you can see the current Treasury balance, which is over $11 million at the time of making this video, a daily revenue of over $4,500, and a monthly revenue of over $135,000. All of this within just 5 months of public launch and during a bear market. Also, importantly, not all of Sphere's investments are included in these balances and in the breakdown I will show you, such as earnings from Dystopia and Penrose, including bribe revenue and revenue from Sphere's taxes. This protocol performance dashboard is pulling and integrating information from multiple different sources and unique strategies, so this is all still a work in progress, and as you will see, a lot of work has already gone into it. Bearing that in mind that this is a work in progress, let's dive into the dashboard. Within our current investments, you can see a list of each asset, what farm the strategy is utilizing if applicable, the blockchain that the farm is on, and of course, Sphere will be expanding its assets and farming strategies cross-chain, the total value of each asset in US dollars, and what percentage of the total treasury that asset represents. For example, Sphere is yield farming its own liquidity of USD Plus and Sphere on Penrose on the Polygon network with a value of over $470,000, representing just over 4% of Sphere's total treasury holdings. As we scroll down, you can also see the distribution of assets according to blockchain and yield type, such as LP stake, single stake, and vault. As I mentioned earlier, Sphere is primarily farming on Polygon now, but will continue to expand to other chains, and this metadata is readily available here. Below that, you can see another way of viewing the value of treasury assets, with the added benefit of being able to see how these values and the total value changes over time. Now is as good of a time as any to mention that if you ever want more information about a particular element within the dashboard, simply hover your mouse over the eye indicator and you will be able to see a brief description. Underneath the value of treasury assets, we can expand the productive assets menu. This gives a further breakdown of each yield-bearing asset held within the Sphere treasury. You can see the asset, which farm is being utilized if applicable, on what blockchain, the current APR or APY, the total holdings within that strategy in USD, and the monthly earnings for that strategy, as well as the percent weight within the Sphere treasury. For example, Sphere has over $945,000 in USD plus, which, thanks to our friends over at overnight.finance, is currently earning a yield of 8% on stablecoins, which currently is over $6,000 per month and representing around 8.5% of Sphere's total treasury holdings. You can use the page arrows to navigate through. you'll notice that the assets are sorted by their USD value. Next, you can see all of the claimable assets that Sphere has yet to claim but has earned from its productive assets. For example, Sphere currently has over $10,000 in unclaimed DYST tokens from Penrose on the Polygon network. Next is a breakdown of all of the different assets within the Treasury wallet, in addition to their farm if applicable, their blockchain, APRs or APYs, the total value in USD, and monthly earnings if applicable, as well as their percent weight. Not all assets are integrated into this tab yet, at least as of the making of this video. Lastly, within this section are the collateral and debt tabs. These are currently empty, but will show any assets used by Sphere as collateral in lending protocols and how much debt is owed. Now, let's scroll back up and take a look at each strategy's performance. This is a breakdown of each asset's APR or APY and how it has changed over time. The current default is to have the top holding checked. Let's uncheck it. The graph will now show how the APR or APY for each asset on this page has changed within the selected time frame. Similarly to before, you can see the asset name, farm, blockchain, APR or APY, value in USD, monthly earnings, and percent weight in the Treasury. Of note, not all assets here are currently integrated into the portfolio allocation section, but they are earning revenue nonetheless. When you scroll to the next page, the chart will populate the data for the assets on that page. You can also isolate an asset by checking it, and can compare it with others either on the same page or on different pages. To reset, simply uncheck what you have selected, and the graph will go back to showing all assets visible on that selected page. Below this is where you can see how the market value of each asset changes over time. The same rules apply for how to view and compare assets in terms of page scrolling and asset selection. Final for this section is a breakdown of the daily and monthly earnings accumulated by the productive assets within the Treasury on several different timeframes. Now, let's scroll back up and take a look at the last currently available section, which provides more detail for each strategy. You can select from the currently integrated strategies here. Let's go with the USD Plus Sphere liquidity pool currently being farmed on Penrose. Again, this Treasury dashboard is still a work in progress, but the goal is for each strategy to show the blockchain that is used for that strategy, the TVL, how much Sphere has deposited into each strategy in USD, the current APR or APY, a link to the website, the yield type, what token is earned as a reward, a risk assessment, a link to the strategy's audit, and the Sphere Treasury wallet address for you to double check these strategies for full transparency and accountability. There will be an About section describing the farm and strategies involved, and a description of the risk assessment. Scrolling down, for the selected strategy, you'll be able to see how the market value of the holdings within that strategy change over time, and how the APR or APY is changing over time, similar to what you can see in the strategy's performance section. And there you have a breakdown of the current Treasury dashboard. With this dashboard, Sphere Finance is exceeding the standards of transparency and accountability for its investors. Remember, it is still a work in progress, as there are different strategies that need to be integrated, and the strategies that Sphere uses will expand and change over time. It is also worth noting that Sphere fully vets and reviews the smart contracts of each yield farm used to minimize risks for Sphere investors, beyond that of standard smart contract risks. A special thanks to Multifarm for building, updating, and maintaining our truly amazing Treasury dashboard. To stay up to date on announcements or contact us, visit the Sphere Finance Discord. Check the description below for official links. You can also leave us a comment below and we will do our best to help. After all, this video and channel is for educational purposes only and is not financial advice. Thanks for watching, and always remember that you matter for who you are. For example, Sphere currently has over 11